Between the Cascades and the Rocky Mountains, where the mighty Columbia River carves a path south from Canada, is a land of big wild forests and dark night skies. It's one of the best places in the Pacific Northwest to see wildlife, from birds to bighorns to bears, and an unspoiled outback for adventure, where the spirit of wilderness lives on. Welcome to Washington's last frontier, the Columbia Highlands. Far from the fast pace of Puget Sound's urban centers, the remote northeast corner of Washington is a step back in time to simpler days. Abundant plant and animal life, as well as working farms, ranches, and forests, make the Columbia Highlands a rare place where wilderness and traditional rural livelihoods both thrive. In the Kettle River Range on the Colville National Forest, local residents have long fought to protect wild areas and roadless forests. Yet today, people are no longer fighting. They're finding common ground. A new and surprising approach with unlikely partners is bearing fruit. People of all stripes, from conservation, timber, recreation, ranching, and Native American backgrounds, have forged a novel plan for the Colville National Forest that balances protecting new wilderness with sustaining timber jobs, trails, and ranching lands. It's a plan whose time has come. The northeast corner of the state seems far removed from the wet forests and craggy peaks of the Cascades. Yet lands in the Colville National Forest are part of a lifeline for wildlife moving between the North Cascades and the Rocky Mountains. Here at the town of Republic, gateway to the Kettle River Range, solitude and adventure come with the territory. The surrounding Colville National Forest contains one of the largest blocks of unprotected forest and meadow in the Northwest. In the Kettle River Range, 10 distinct but closely connected areas have no roads at all, providing critical habitat for roaming wildlife. From the open high country of Twin Sisters and the Kettle Crest to the giant ponderosa pines of 13 Mile Canyon, the area offers a safe haven for wildlife. Farther east in the Selkirk Mountains is a second block of roadless wildlands, part of the westernmost arm of the Rockies. Only one portion, the Salmo Priest Wilderness, is fully protected today. Northeastern Washington's only designated wilderness, the Salmo Priest, amounts to just 40,000 of the state's total 4 million acres of designated wilderness. Each of these wild forests in the Kettle River Range and Selkirk Mountains are special and beautiful. These are the wild places we love. We'd like to show them to you in the hopes that you'll love them too. Local people treasure Hoodoo Canyon for its sheer cliffs, emerald green lakes, quiet trails, and giant pines. Bear, elk, cougar, even moose leave tracks along the water's edge. Few sights or sounds from the outside world penetrate this deep canyon haven. Twin Sisters, named for its two most prominent peaks, is a stone's throw away to those enjoying wilderness views on the Kettle Crest Trail. North of Highway 20, roadless forests provide habitat and travel routes for lynx and other wildlife between the high peaks and lowland habitat below. For hikers in search of adventure, the quiet and solitude of the Kettle Crest Trail is intoxicating. The 45-mile-long trail winds through meadows of lupin and sagebrush along peaks 7,000 feet high. The Kettle Crest is one of the few places left in Washington outside of protected wilderness where you can hike for days without crossing a road. Sherman Pass, the highest in Washington state, is a jumping-off point for classic wilderness hikes along the Kettle Crest Trail. Whether exploring by horseback, on foot, or on skis, people cherish the remoteness of the wild peaks and trails south of Sherman Pass. So do wildlife. Black bears and mule deer roam these mountains, and signs of lynx and wolverine are on the rise. Much of the area has recovered naturally following a wildfire. Fire-carved snags provide nesting holes and insects for birds like the white-headed woodpecker and the magnificent great gray owl. Dropping down into the wildlands of 13 Mile Canyon is a wildlife thoroughfare through the Columbia Highlands, providing a safe path for bears, lynx, and other animals between the Kettle Crest and the Okanagan Highlands to the west. To the east is the Selkirk Range on the windward side of the Rockies, where abundant rain and snowfall nourishes oak ferns, old-growth western red cedar, and other wet forest plants. The high granite peaks of Abercrombie and Hook-Nosed Mountains are stepping stones for wildlife across the Columbia Highlands. Together with wildlands proposed as additions to the Salmo Priest Wilderness, these ridges and valleys help link habitat in a long chain of wild forests and working lands. Hall Mountain forms an impressive backdrop for boaters and campers on Sullivan Lake. Rugged terrain and steep trails rise to summit vistas traversed by hikers, bighorn sheep, and the occasional grizzly bear and caribou. Trails along winding ridgelines connect to Grassy Top Mountain. Farther south, the ecologically rich bunchgrass meadows feature a rare bog and species of endangered dragonflies. Along the target of Forest Service timber cutting plans, the edges of these roadless areas have been chipped away for years. Official roadless areas enjoy some protection these days, but that protection is both uncertain and incomplete. Off-road vehicles are not barred from roadless areas, and logging can occur under some circumstances. What these areas need is full wilderness protection. Many who have